controversial character in the eyes of some, a positive light in the eyes of many, Lil Darkie, otherwise known as Brahmin, has seen a rise to prominence since the pandemic in the months following. Born in the Bay and raised in Sacramento, California, to a mother of Indian descent and a father who he describes as a mix of a bunch of different things, Joshua Hamilton grew up a Boy Scout and developed a love for film. By the age of 12, he started producing his own films with his friends and aspired to work on Hollywood films one day. When he was younger, he listened to a lot of Mac Miller, Odd Future, and early T.E., but found a lot of relation to Earl Sweatshirt in particular. Throughout his childhood, he was subject to a lot of bullying and grew to accept that as a mixed person, he was never going to find his place in this world.
In an area that it used to be predominantly Caucasian, and then now when I was there was a bunch of different races of people, like Filipino, Asian, black, white, everybody, Mexican, everyone was at the school, but like I still felt as if there was this weird judgment. Like if you're Filipino, you act a certain way. If you're black, you act a certain way. If you're white, you act a certain way. And so since I was like none of those things, but like people thought I was like Indian, they're like, oh, you don't act like an Indian kid supposed to. Like that's weird. So like it was both a lot of direct and indirect bullying. Like I'd have a lot of people that would purposely come and fuck with me and like talk shit or like make fun of me because like in middle school like I had like a rolling backpack because I fuck with the roller backpack.
Yeah, the roller backpack
that
is
shit
tight
as
bro.
fuck. Yeah,
that shit is
but then
tight.
niggas would like fuck with my swag and niggas would like make fun of me for having a rolling backpack because they lame as fuck. And so like it just ended up a lot of that shit really just stuck in my brain until eventually I just like lashed out, and as a result like society kind of just put me under. And so then I feel like I've just been like it's bullied both indirectly because of like my race, because of like my appearance, because of the things I do, the way I speak. It's just like nothing about me makes sense to people or seems to make sense to people. So like I've just kind of accepted it. Imagine a wall of cubbies, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a white person cubby and an Asian person cubby and a black person cubby and a Mexican person cubby, and then like what you're supposed to do if you're mixed race cubby. And then like they're trying to like stick everyone in all these little cubbies, these little boxes. And like if you ever even try to like not be in one or like go into a different one, or like just like if anything you do could like possibly put you in a different place, like everyone's really invested in trying to like keep it the way it is, which is ironically super conservative.
Around the age of 16, he started putting his thoughts and experiences into the music, and around the age of 17, he became Brahmin. It was around this time that he started to get in trouble with his parents and even worse, law enforcement. The combination of legal trouble, bullying, and a breakup he was going through at the time led the once positive Brahmin to be more negative in his music. Darkie claims that by preaching positivity in his music, he became more negative in his personal life. He says by using the music as an outlet for his rage and anger, he was able to become more positive in his personal life.
So like as soon as I started making that positive music, whatever that means, and like acting, trying to be enlightened or whatever that means, I realized like I was becoming like more fucked up and like negative inside. And so then when I started putting that negativity outside of myself, I can be more positive inside myself.
Makes sense.
So I had to like flip it.
The first member of Spider Gang that Darkie met was Cubensis at CSU Long Beach in 2016. This was where Darkie started to develop the art style that we all know and love today. So they met like this. Cubensis and Darkie had neighboring dorms. Darkie didn't really get along with his dorm mate at the time, so he asked Cubensis to help him move out. From then on there, the two became close friends. In roughly April 2017, back when Brahmin had around 30 Soundcloud followers, he asked Cubensis to work on a song with him. This was also Cubensis' first time working on a beat. The two would start working under another collective titled Native Cruiser Records, and later that year would release projects like Backo, Space Pricks, and Psychonauts.
So the way he and I actually linked up, it wasn't even based off of music. Like he and I went to CSU Long Beach. He was going for film, I was going for music. And I was going for trumpet performance, not even related to like any like production or anything like that. I wasn't even making beats at the time. It was back in like 2016. And he and I just happened to get, we happened to be suite mates, meaning that he had a dorm that was right next to mine and we basically shared bathrooms.
Yeah.
And so he and I became acquainted through there. I became friends with him and his roommate. That whole situation is a long ass story that we're not going to get into, but long story short, him and a group of other kids started not fucking with us because Darkie wanted to move out of his original roommate's room because he was doing like a bunch of crazy shit, like doing coke in the dorm and fucking like bringing alcohol where it's not allowed
Yeah.
and shit. And he was just like, bro, this is like way too hot. I need to get out of here. And so I helped him move out. And so by me associating with him, he and I basically became like the outcasts of the dorm area.
Around 700 SoundCloud followers, Brahmin became Lil Darkie. The character is inspired by the Indian gods, and the mark on his head is a Hindu symbol. Darkie said for him, this symbol means doing something for a higher purpose. He claims that the character came after two events. One time, while on acid, he looked in the mirror and witnessed all the color drain from his skin. That, coupled with messing up a drawing of Brahmin and coloring him in, we landed on the character Lil Darkie. After numerous trials and errors of drawing the character, he settled on the character design we know and love today.
This distinct style of like character animation and like just object drawing and shit, I developed literally when I drew Darkie for the first time. He wasn't like this. Like he was more like he was literally just like a silhouette. And the reason I had drawn Darkie for the first time is because in my art I had never like expressed aggression during the creating of my art really with Brahmin. And then one day I was drawing Darkie and I fucked him up. Or drawing Brahmin. And then I turned him into Darkie. Basically, I just like colored him all in black. And then I started to like get an idea. And then it like that coupled with the fact that I had taken acid one time and looked at myself in the mirror and seen like all the color like drain from my skin and just be like eyes and a mouth and a nose.
That's crazy.
And then like that like combined with that inspired me to basically like what would it be like if like if I drew myself as the singularity that like I feel like I am sometimes. And so then I basically drew Darkie over and over, and like it developed like by the third drawing I had like nailed down a style that I liked more. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it more like cartoony. When I first started it was more realistic. He still had the Pac-Man eyes and the weird smile and everything, but it was more like realistic looking.
Darkie acknowledges how his name and character is viewed by some and states that it's something that he was called when he was a child. He also claims that by using the name and the character, he's turning a negative into a positive. After the shift to Lil Darkie, him and Cubensis dropped the song No Hands on April 4th, 2018. They ended up paying Lil Ominous, Lil Pump's cousin, for a repost, and both claim this is the only time they ever paid to promote their music. From then on there, when Shoot People You Don't Like came out, is when Darkie started to really garner a hardcore fan base. Now fast forward to mid-2018, Wendigo was in college in California, and he was working on music with a friend. After Wendigo went home for the night, his friend found Lil Darkie on Soundcloud and got Darkie on the song a week later. This was Wendigo's first time hearing Lil Darkie. From there on out, the other members of Spider Gang started to meet each other. Wendigo eventually moved back to Woodstock, but after a phone call with Darkie, decided to move back to Long Beach and stay with him in his apartment around June 2018. Less than a year later, Wendigo would eventually move back to Crown Heights. Darkie was staying in Long Beach, sharing a 2-bedroom apartment with Cubensis, Brahmin God, and eventually Corpse.
This was basically like mid-2018, like early to mid-2018.
When you were in college, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Stoneman finds Darkie, puts him on the song. I hear the song like a week later. I hear Darkie's verse. I've never heard him prior. And my mind was just blown. I was like, this guy's lit. I'm trying to work with this guy more.
Yeah.
So I hit him up. And then slowly over the course like the next year, so Cubensis, basically like me, Stoneman, and Brumman were kind of like one little group within Spider Gang. Cubensis and Darkie had already been working together for like a year and a half at this point. And they had loads of material out. And then there's other heads like Flacco and Edison, who we didn't know at the time, were also working together. We have Christ Dillinger, who was working with other heads. He would come into the picture like much later. And yeah, just like over the course, basically like a year, we all just like became friends. And then at some point we decided, all right, let's like make a group.
Fast forward early 2019, Darkie would go on to release the song Holocaust, his biggest song to date. Not only was that his biggest song, but it's one that helped catapult him to a new level of popularity. This was also Darkie's first taste of controversy, as not everyone took kindly to the song. There was minimal backlash and even fans exiting shows when the song came on, after hearing the lyrics. From here on out, Spider Gang would continue to grind and grow throughout 2019. Darkie would continue to grow at an accelerated rate, working with Spider Gang and even start a new group called Gunk Rock with Flacco and Edison. This growth didn't come without backlash, having his Instagram account deleted multiple times, most notably after the song Do More Drugs, to which Darkie responded with this hilarious animation. After securing his Instagram account, Darkie would go on to drop Haha on October 7, 2019, not knowing at the time this would go on to be his biggest song and the one that would catapult him to arguably the biggest artist in underground music. Wendigo made the beat for Haha about 45 minutes in Darkie's Long Beach apartment.
It was like one of like the weirdest things I've ever experienced in my life. Because when I first saw Haha doing what it was doing, like I didn't see Haha when it had like 1,000 TikToks, like when it had 100. Like one day Darkie just calls me and he's like, go on TikTok and look up Haha. And I click on it and there was like 600,000 videos have been made to it. And it was all the people doing like the weird little like, you know, trend where like they do like the makeup and they put on the face or whatever. And so I don't know what it was. Like, I really don't know why that happens. And in my personal opinion, you could ask Darkie, you can ask really like me or him about this. Both of us don't really like that song. That's like not a song that we figured was going to become our biggest song. And like at first we were almost kind of panicked. We were like, fuck, like this song sucks. Like, why is this our biggest song now? Like, what the fuck? And then, you know, it was just like a trippy experience. It was just weird, like just seeing all these people that, you know, and like when I saw it, like I think the reason why I saw it was because James Charles had made a TikTok to it. So there's like seeing like celebrities that have nothing to do with music, they have nothing to do with like any of the shit that we're doing, have nothing to do with like any of our values, just like making dance videos to this song. So it was just trippy. It was like for like weeks, it just like every day you'd go on TikTok and there's like 100,000 more, 200,000 more, until it got to like 6 million videos have been made with it. And yeah, it was like in the moment, like kind of weird, and like it, you know, it was cool. And I don't want to sound like spoiled for saying it like was like a bad thing, but like initially our reactions to it was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like we were so shocked and like just put back by it that we couldn't really enjoy it. But then like looking back at it, like, you know, that has changed my life a lot. So like I'm very like grateful that happens.
Darkie said ironically, the song is about artists putting on a mask. In June 2020, the song had reached its height in popularity, and even big TikTokers were getting on the trend. Even Bill Gates got in on the fun. Although they're both fortunate for the song, Wendigo stated that neither of them feel like people who were doing the TikToks to the song felt like they aligned with their values. As Haha began to pick up traction, cancel culture caught wind of this, and hashtag Lil Darkie is racist became a thing. Videos and tweets started to circulate the internet, attacking Darkie's persona. This was met by fans trying to set the record straight. Overall, cancel culture didn't really affect Darkie's career. Might be safe to say, he can't be canceled. In fact, cancel culture might have actually helped his career. The Lil Darkie is racist thing that we've all seen. How did you react to it? How did you handle it?
So like, it's just kind of fucking stupid and bullshit and like dumb, and I don't really give a fuck about it at all. And it's just a bunch of like stupid idiots inside that like don't do anything with their lives, and they're all fucking dumb, and I don't care. Because ultimately, like, I may be like weird or like be doing some ideas that people don't understand, or like, you know, I may say things or do things or present imagery that people could misconstrue as something it's not. But like ultimately, all I really feel like I do is like overt, you know, good for people, you know, for my fans, you know, for my family, for my friends. And like, if people want to look at what I'm doing and have an issue just because like they're hella down bad, then like I don't really give a fuck, you know. Ultimately, it's just a bunch of people trying to bring me down and trying to put me in like a box. But like, I don't ever tell anyone what to do. There's not a single time where I've been like, oh, this person shouldn't do that. Oh, you're wrong for that. I could leaving comments on people's shit, trying to like, you know, do weird shit. Like, I'm never involved in shit like that. So I just don't relate. I think people like that have lost their fucking minds, and they're stupid. I want to fight against that. You know, I exist to fight against that. It's one of the reasons I'm here. You know, to fight against that systematic boxing in of people. It's like become a system. There's a system to it. Like, there's certain people that start trends of like hating people, and it like all it does is spread like negativity. And it's funny because no one's ever actually trying to address like the actual fucking problems in the world. Like, you think that I'm like a problem, you know, like fucking like look at like war crimes like Israel. Like, look at like things happening, like crazy ass shit going on every day, like people starving. Like, you want to like talk about like me like I'm a problem?
Yeah.
Like, do you know, like, I don't understand. It's stupid. It's silly, you know?
It's definitely
It's dumb. Like, I'm building my career up so that in, like, some years I can, like, have enough resources to do things like fucking beach cleanups and, like, shit. Like food drives and, like, fun things like that. Like, I love doing shit like that. I've done shit like that since I was a kid, you know? Like, I enjoy helping the community and enriching people. I don't understand, you know, why people spend their time, like, on the internet acting as if, like, this space is real. Like, it's not. It's just like a fake little fucking, it's a bunch of numbers. If all the computers that like made it real just disappeared, like, it would be fake again. So yeah, I think cancel culture is dumb.
Fast forward, by the end of 2020, Darkie dropped 3 albums and a handful of singles. It was exponentially more popular than he was the beginning of the year. Moving into 2021, Darkie started another group project with Brahmin God and MK Ultra titled The Faggots. Darkie and Spider Gang also sold out their first show in Los Angeles, on top of announcing a European tour in which multiple dates in London and Germany are already sold out. Overall, Lil Darkie is still heavily misunderstood by the masses and continues to challenge the thoughts and actions of everyone on his crusade to spread positivity. His one hope in this world is that he can impact the youth and culture in a positive way. But after all this, now that you know his story, one question still remains. With the direction the world is going, will there ever be room for Lil Darkie to be fully accepted? Only time will tell. Until next time, I'm Bobby Dee, and on behalf of Cult Classic, this has been the story of Lil Darkie. Please follow and subscribe for more. Peace.